jab, uppercut, leave you laid out on the floor. Try to duck and roll, hit and miss, now you counting stars. Should've practiced more, should've hit the mask, get out there more. Claim that you're the best. You gotta show me, son. Actions over words, baby boy. Is you real or what? Talking way too much, world come. Back sports, talking way too much, world come. Back sports, talking way too much, world come. Back
What's good, everyone? Thanks for tuning in to World Combat Sports, man. You know what it is. It's Sunday. I hope everybody went to church and confessed their sins. You know what I'm saying? I hope you went up there and gave your testimony, especially if you was on YouTube acting up. You know what I'm saying? Up here doing dirt on YouTube. You know what I'm saying? On this box of media. Shout out to everyone that's in the building, man. I see you. I be who I be on deck with it. King Mitch on deck. What's good? Salute to y'all, brothers, being the first in the building. So let's get right down to it, man. You see the thumbnail, kept it light. I refuse to work for free labor and go into details and do all that tedious work for free. You know what I'm saying? So my thumbnails are going to be, it's going to have a message in it, but it's going to be pretty simple. You know what I'm saying? And once again, we're waiting. We've been waiting to hear some type of news on anything, dealing with anything with Terence Crawford. So from what I'm hearing, that finally the pacifier has been delivered. The Errol Spence fans can pretty much sit there and be satisfied. You know what I'm saying? Suck on that bad boy for a minute. Stop all the whining. And for what might be true in the clouds of boxing, that Terence Crawford may have just signed the fate of his next two opponents. You heard it here first. Terence Crawford may potentially sign the fate of his next opponents. His next two opponents, whether they be Keith Thurman, Errol Spence, Keith Thurman, Ugas, Keith Thurman, it don't make a difference. Either way it goes, I'm not a pocket watcher. You feel me? I really care too less about what Bud signed for the money. I'm glad he getting paid because he already did straight, solid business before. And he was getting that guarantee money. To now, potentially signing the fate of his next two oppositions under the banner of PBC. Now, it's not a huge selection for him to choose from when it's all said and done, but at least as boxing fans, we get to see a fight. All right? Keith Thurman, if he's in the equation, Danny Garcia's name was out there. Hey, I don't care who it is. Danny Garcia, Keith Thurman, people are so anxious. Like, they keep on saying that they want to see Bud step back in the ring. It's almost like they are full of anxiety. They are bleeding out anxiety, bro. Because when you say, hey, he stepped out the ring last November, they want him back inside those ropes. Like, what are you looking to see? You want to be hopeful something happens? That the results? No, you don't want that, because we want to see the fight between Terence Crawford and Errol Spence. We want that fight. Period. Keenan say nobody's safe. I got both Spence and Mel beating Crawford. He'd be lucky to get both those fights on a 2-fight deal. Great fight though. I just can't take any of that what you just said serious. But I do appreciate you allotting space on my live chat to put that in there just so I can speak on it. You know what I'm saying? I appreciate that, Mitch. Thanks for being one of those members. I appreciate that. But you yourself on a Sunday would just straight up lie, straight up, flat out lie like that, bro. What is wrong with you? Just because it's in the late afternoon, early evening, you just come on here like you didn't go to church this morning? I got it. Silence King on deck. What's good? Salute WCS. Salute to you too, man. Most likely PBC gives Crawford a welterweight fight before Spence. Probably Thurman or Danny. I think the Spence fight would be the latter of the two, though. I always said it would be good that he just, remain out the ring. You know what I'm saying? Because you never can trust when it comes to boxing. You never can trust anything. You know what I'm saying? But I believe in Bud Crawford as being a different type of fighter. Like, I've never really seen him go into a situation where he wasn't in control over his end game, the end state or the goal that he was trying to reach. He just don't give me that vibe at all. Pretty much have his shit on lock. And this deal is definitely going to benefit him financially, but also it's going to benefit him from adding 2 names to his resume on the green side, y'all. You know what I'm saying? I know listeners like Mitch and a lot of other Spencerholics, they're hoping something different happen between this podcast and the time he steps in there with his next opponent. But the only thing that's going to happen is that someone's going to become lucky 7, and then the next one's going to come lucky 8. You know what I'm saying? As they said in Spanish, ocho. Ocho. ¿De entiendes, amigo? Sí. Ocho. That's all that's going to happen. You know what I'm saying? That's all that's going to happen. But the bigger word is that Terence Crawford wants the big fights, right? Nobody is safe when it comes to Terence Crawford call out. Nobody's safe. Not even Derrick James. Because, see, Derrick James has to be the one to train Spence for a Crawford fight. He has to be confident that his training is on a higher level than Bomac. Once again, I'm going to say this. Derrick James has to be comfortable that his training is on a different level than Bomac. Because Bomac has proven that, he can get the job done. He's proven it. Derrick James has proven it. When it comes down to the 2 linking up and, hearing the people say, well, he's not really that a switch stance fighter. He just do it for distractions. He just do it for this. Look, the only thing I want you to know is that he's productive when he does switch stance. For whatever method he's trying to use and delegate to his opposition, he is productive. That's all. That's all you need to know. You don't need to know how pretty it looked. You don't need to know any of that. All thing you need to know is how productive he is when he execute his game plan. That's it. Andrew Charles on that. What's good? What's good with you, bro? WCS salute to you. IB says if Bud has an activity fight with the undisputed about the name better be a quality opponent. I would absolutely assume there's going to be a quality opponent. Now, the name I am hearing, I seen Danny Garcia out there. I'm hearing Keith Thurman. Between those 2 names, they're considered quality opponents. You know what I'm saying? They still, even though Danny losing to the Errol Spence, you know what I'm saying? He's still considered a quality opponent. Me, myself, I put them in there with Terence Crawford, and I still say they lose, whether it's Keith Thurman or Danny Garcia. But I think a lot of people are looking at Keith Thurman as a former unified champion, and they believe that he may be, being at the time he took out the ring, he may be a bit more preserved as a fighter coming back to the square, especially him coming off fighting a junior welterweight in Mario Barrios and going the distance. I'm gonna be honest with you. Keith Thurman is easy pickings for Terence Crawford. Easy pickings, man. I'm not saying he's gonna knock him out, but you know what? Keith Thurman has always had those problems with the body attacks, man, and the body shots. So it all comes down to if it's indeed Keith Thurman. I know it's gonna be some very vocal promo that's going on because Keith Thurman loved talking this shit. Terence Crawford gonna talk his shit too. It's gonna be good, but I look at it like this. I feel that Terence Crawford don't need a fight before he fights Spence. It'll be great if he can get Spence. If he wins, if he defeats Ugas, get the winner of Ugas Spence. Let me put it that way, because I still don't know if Spence gonna make it to the fight. So he get the winner of Ugas Spence, step on them, and then convince Al Heyman to give him Jermell Charlo. That's if Jermell Charlo gets past Brian Castano. But from what I've been hearing in the media, Jermell Charlo is still with the motherfucking Kleenex, dog. He's still up here with a box of Kleenex and shit, blowing his snot bubbles and shit. He really don't want to allow the brother to eat. Like, what's going on with them Charlos, man? Come on. Man, y'all Texas boxing fans, y'all need to stamp on that real quick. That's burning down a lot of respect when it comes to that demographic, that footprint over there. Because these cats ain't acting like, they're not acting like they have the courage, man. They're not acting like they have the strength, the fortitude. They act like they don't have a strong mind, body, and soul to be great at what they're doing. They just want to live the lavish lifestyle and be a part of the culture, man. Wherever they do all access. They want people to see everything that they've, been able to get with their the money that they've earned. But then when it comes to Mel, he keeps on telling, Terence Crawford, nah, he don't want no parts of that. I'm looking at it like it's a pure duck. That's a psychological disaster right there. The man is in the lower weight class, and you've seen Errol Spence take on Mikey Garcia, but yet Terence can't get no love. Like Terence walk around well up over 154 easy. That Jermell Charlo. So y'all need to kind of do some deeper examination as to why he's whining so much. These are the same Charlo brothers who was taking jabs at Deontay Wilder. You know what I'm saying? These are the same Charlos who was sitting up there saying we broke. They don't worry about broke. You know what I'm saying? They should really take a look at that, man, and not sit up here and support a fighter that's absolutely wrong. And he's pretty much saying, nah, I don't want to step up to that competition. Because I'm gonna bring some back to the surface once again. We all seen what happened when he lost to Tony Harrison. I appreciate Mar Charlo being there by his brother's side. But with Mel was over there. He was going through the emotional breakdown. The weather report was called for showers and thunder and lightning. He was over there. I don't even play video games. That was Mel Charlo over there. He was shedding tears. But like I said before, I'm definitely gonna hold myself accountable. I said when he came back for the rematch with Tony Harris, he had that line. He had the eyes of the lion, dog. I'm not gonna lie to you. I gotta give him his props. In my criticism, I have to give him his props too. I gotta show love. Because when he came back for Tony Harrison, he was on the motherfucking hunt, dog. I ain't gonna lie. But I just can't ignore the fact when he lost that title, he was over there crying. I'm just saying he's crying. He's crying once again. He don't want, Terence Crawford to move up and challenge him. And I really can't sit up here and think that Al Heyman wouldn't want a big fight like that. But who wants to see Bud Crawford unify the three divisions? Just let that sit in your spirit right quick. Are y'all ready for Terence Bud Crawford to unify in not only two but three divisions? Are y'all ready for that? Are y'all ready for me to still be an active channel on YouTube and for that to go down? Look, y'all know y'all gonna catch pure hell when he sit up here and step on Spence if he makes it to the fight, right? All right. Y'all already have that to deal with. It don't matter what you say behind my back. It don't matter about none of that. I've been living longer than most of y'all, so all that it don't matter. But y'all have to get through that fury first. That's an ayahuasca that you're not gonna be able to come up out of for real. That's gonna be sitting on your damn thought process for a minute, and then if somehow he can talk to freaking Al Heyman and run this gauntlet. Let's just say he step on Thurman first. Then whoever wins between Ugas and Spence. I would rather be Spence. Real talk. I'd rather be Spence so we can just get this out the way. Look, I don't want Ugas in a way to snatch that glory away from the Spencerholics, because their high hope and big dreams is to see Spence step in the ring and defeat Terence. But once again, Ugas Ugas seemed like he's on a tear. And he was the one to step in against Manny Pacquiao. And he got that done. So if Ugas come in here and do the same thing with Errol Spence, I really don't want to have to, visit these live chats and hear them say, well, you can hear it in all access that he wasn't the same. He said he's on borrowed time. They're going to come up with all this trash can of excuses, man. I might not even see Mitch for like 2 or 3 months. You know what I'm saying? He might return back in 23 with a whole new voice trying to disguise. I don't know, dog. Let me get to some of these chats, man. Because I know this title brings out a lot of the Spencerholics. Shout out to 503 Line in the building. Appreciate you pulling up, big dog. He says, salute, bro. Keep up the great work. I'm hearing Bud deal with PBC is done. Absolutely. But for me, I always speak on as if, I have to wait for the official announcement for them to really start the promo it. But I hear you, bro. I seen that out there too. And y'all check out 503 Line, man. Go check his channel out, man. Be putting out some great content over there. Go check him out. If I were Crawford, I'd be low-key telling PBC to see if Pac-Man wants to come back. Use the OG legend as a PBV tune-up. Now, I won't want my boy to fight Manny Pacquiao because, once again, he'll be fighting a common opponent. All right? So from what I always hear, that common opponents, the standards are not, in respect for Bud Crawford. He doesn't get that credit. You know what I'm saying? He doesn't get that credit. Everybody else can fight a common opponent. When Bud Crawford, when he go over here and step on Kell Brook, he ain't the same. Even though Errol Spence fought that man less than a year coming off a freaking beating. And then, Sean Porter goes over here. He's never been stopped in his life. And they put they snatch all the glory away and say Kenny Porter was the one who stopped the fight, not Bud Crawford. So I don't want to see Terence Crawford fight Pacquiao and stop him, because Pacquiao's been stopped before. And also, Ugas Ugas is already defeated him. But I want him to get that, if it's Thurman that we talking about, go put Thurman, go step on Thurman, get him out the way, because we wasn't impressed with the Mario Barrios fight. Go step on Thurman. And then that would have give him one fight in between, and we won't hear no more excuses. Be careful, PBC put Josecito Lopez and Neville Crawford. And what is that supposed to mean exactly? Because Let's check this out. Let's get it straight. Terence Crawford is not Keith Thurman. Okay, I know Josecito Lopez shine, and his light was shining bright. And this little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Oh, this yeah, you know the picture, but that's not what's gonna happen to Terence Crawford. Josecito light is not gonna shine over there. You know what I'm saying? It's not gonna happen. I don't think anybody wants to see Manny Pacquiao back in the ring. Talk to him, Andrew. Mitch, I tell you, Mitch coming here with different attitudes, different personalities for real. You know what I'm saying? Mitch is on his shit again today. Rashidi Ellis just inked a deal with PBC. I doubt they throw him in there with Crawford right away. I like to see Rashidi versus a few PBC welterweights. I agree with the latter half of that. I like Rashidi Ellis, but throwing him in there with Crawford, it would be almost like they treat him like he food. You know what I'm saying? You just signed a deal, and over there at PBC, they're looking for big fights. But Rashidi Ellis, he's a solid cat. You know what I'm saying? Rashid is a solid dude, man. So he's not a big name though, like a Keith Thurman, Danny Garcia. He's not a big name. So he's gonna have to, fight somebody on the lower echelon and build himself up. 503 said Charlo will fuck Bud up. Hey, I know, that's gonna be the language coming from that side of the spectrum. But 503, it's hard for me to believe it if the man is sitting up here blowing snot bubbles, dog. All I hear is all I hear is that shit. It takes me back, man. You know what I'm saying? When my kids was young, I had to go up to the daycare and I hear all these kids crying. Like Charlo giving me that vibe again, dog. I'm going back in time for the wrong reasons. You know what I'm saying? I would like to turn back the clock, but I don't want to turn back the clock when I was changing diapers. God damn. I want that fight. Look, Bud is calling for that fight, and everybody in his chat totally understands if Bud Crawford is calling for that fight, y'all got to take it serious that Jermell Charlo is whining. He's not even really paying. Look, he's not even giving him the respect that, yeah, I'll step up. He tough. He don't call the man a little, a light, you know what I'm saying? The light boys or whatever coming up from 47. He said he need to shut up. He need to take less money. He need to humble himself. He needs to sit down. It seemed like shut up and dribble to me. It seemed like a black person telling another black man to do something that's considered offensive. You know what I'm saying? He's talking like he's in the house on the plantation. You know who sent me out here, right? I want to get accountability. Hey, you back there. You know I got you. I'm gonna tell him. I'm gonna lie on you because I just don't like you. That's what Jermell Charlo do to Crawford. He'll lie on him. Hey, master, he was out here stealing. You told him to go out there and pick strawberries. He was eating them. I seen him. He should be punished. Whip him. Jermell seemed like that type of guy, man. He don't want to give, Crawford any shine. He don't want to give him any type of light. And we're talking about the best. If your brother ain't planning on moving up, and then Jermell has to get past freaking Brian Castano. If he doesn't get past Brian Castano, somebody need to put a suicide watch out for real. I don't know what's gonna happen. But I hope he get past Brian Castano. Real talk. But we'll save that comment. I got to put that up there. So it can be on the replay. If this fight ever happened, if I'm living. I doubt it won't, though. But I appreciate that Terence Crawford is stepping up and he's calling out the names up there. And he's calling out Jermell Charlo. Like, look, if it's 503, if Mel Charlo had his confidence, this would be a fight to be made on a 2-fight deal. Fight Spence. You get past Spence, then you fight Mel Charlo. But I don't think Mel Charlo has the fuck Bud up mentality. I don't think he's sure that 503. I don't get that euphony in my ears, bro. That he is indeed confident that he can fuck Bud Crawford up. I don't think Uh-uh. Because look at what Tony Harrison, the type of style Tony Harrison has, and look at the type of style Bud Crawford will present to Jermell Charlo. Andrew Charles, you right. But if I were Crawford, I at least check on Pac-Man. He has the leg excuse for Ugas fight. Nah, man, that's a lower tier fight. He's too old. He's withered, bro. He's withered. It's too many miles on Pacquiao. 8 division champion getting knocked out early in your career. That's too many. It's too much. Too many miles. I wouldn't suggest Crawford fight Pacquiao and something seriously go bad with him. You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't want that to happen because we all sit up here and joke about his wife feeding him after his fight with Ugas, bro. What do you think, Crawford? You know what? I'll take that back. Crawford would probably be nice. It'll be a lopsided fight. Crawford will have respect, just like he did Sean Porter. He'll take it easy in the first half of the fight and then get him up out of there. But he won't do too much damage to him, like Ugas did. Ugas just didn't care. He was proving a point. 503 say y'all trying to get Bud to put a shirt. Be careful what you ask for. Man, we asking, Shawty, for real. We asking, man. You know what I'm saying? We asking. When you keep getting request denied, request denied, request denied, it's nothing you can do. He may be signing with PBC, but that doesn't mean, the fighters over there are gonna say, oh, okay, he over here now. No, it's gonna be more like, okay, we've been over here. You just getting over here. You know what I'm saying? You got to work your way up the PBC ladder. No, bro, we don't want to hear that bullshit. We want to see you fight the solid names, and those names out there right now is Errol Spence and Jermell Charlo. I don't foresee at all him losing to Keith Thurman. Even though Keith Thurman, he still has some Wall Street to him. He used to be former Unified. Yes, sir. You know what I'm saying? Ugas has one of his titles, one half of his titles, his former titles, and Errol Spence has the WBC, the other half. So the great thing about this thumbnail is Crawford is now in the company. You know what I'm saying? Crawford is now in that company. If Errol Spence thought he was on borrowed time doing the interview, I know this word breaking and him seeing it, he understands how close he is. You know what I'm saying? He has to go in here, look very good against Ugas, and then he have that Omaha beast to look forward to. He's not been sounding confident, man. I know he has a huge fan base. That's cool. Y'all can remain fans. Stay there because he's gonna need that therapeutic support system once he gets stepped on by that Omaha beast. IB said, King Mitch, that's great news to hear for Speedy Rashidi. He has to get some power though, because he has a lot of talent. Talk to him, IB. Speedy's gonna get his shot though. If he wins now, it seems like Virgil Ortiz somehow, some way, he either has some type of ailment, illness, because people need to understand if you're sick and you're not able to train, sometimes you may have a medical condition which forces you to retain water. It's possible. You know what I'm saying? Because when I was cutting weight for competition, my body went through shock for a little bit. And, it was just like you had to kind of chill from doing cardio and keep on cutting. You had to take on some more water. Your chemicals internally, you become unbalanced. Your sugar levels change, all that. So if Virgil Ortiz was sick and he really couldn't work out to maximize, the rigors of his training, and his body started holding water or whatever the case may be, that's probably why he was as high as he was. If he was in 160s or whatever, he might not have been able to cut weight as quick as he thought. man, weight cut is vicious, dog. I don't know why people take that shit like a joke. Like, weight cut isn't like picking up your phone and putting your thumbprint on it. Weight cut is a process. And if it's not a process to you, and you decide to do a hasty, expeditious weight cut, it's brutal because you don't allow your body enough time to adjust to the changes. Texas has the best sport fans, period, especially in boxing. Hey, man, I want them Texas boxing fans. That's what I'm most concerned about. I want y'all to stay solid on the square because it's about to be some changes for real. You know what I'm saying? It's about to be some changes. Y'all have two big grand fights coming up. Y'all have two top names. This is the gauntlet for y'all. This is the gauntlet. This is the gauntlet just like Devin Haney with the Aussie double. This is the Texas Trouble. This double is called the Texas Trouble. You have Jermell Charlo and Errol Spence. They have two big fights coming up. All right. This is going to say a lot now. They have two big fights coming up. This is going to say a lot for the state of boxing in that footprint over there. I'm not wishing nothing on none of them. I'm just saying, y'all have the Texas Trouble coming up. You have Jermell Charlo fighting for unification undisputed with Brian Castano in their rematch. Tough fight for both fellas in the first one. And then, of course, you have, the Cuban sensation, Yordenis Ugas, going in there with Errol Spence Jr. Both of them guys look sharp doing the workouts, the open workouts, and it's going to be a good fight. Make sure you don't go no goddamn well with my money, bro. Don't go too far with my money, bro, for real. No way PBC will give Bud a Spence and Charlo fight on a 2-fight deal. That's the same Talk Gang Loma treatment. Why can't, man? I feel that he's done enough. He's earned his spot. Terence Crawford has earned his spot, man, to get that treatment. Wouldn't you agree? Wouldn't you agree at this point in time, Terence Crawford signing with the PBC? It shouldn't be no warm-up phase. He's did enough. It shouldn't be no warm-up phase. You got to prove yourself. They already know who the hell Terence Crawford is at PBC. There should be no introduction, no probationary period, none of that shit. You just sign the best welterweight, and then you have a second welterweight that's already signed to you. It should be no warm-up phase, none of that shit. No trial period, none of that. They know who he is. They know where he sits on the pound-for-pound list. Let's get it. I haven't heard confirmation on anything yet, but if it's going the way I'm hearing, I would prefer a matchup with Thurman over Danny, but I rate them both about the same. You know what? I think, once again, if Thurman fight Danny Garcia, I think he wins. I think if Thurman right now fights Danny Garcia, he wins. I really don't put them on the equal playing field. I don't. I just don't put them on the equal playing field. Like, you have to look at it. Thurman already has a win over Danny Garcia. He took his belt. I mean, how sweet is that? Has Danny Garcia shown any levels of improvement throughout the fights he's had, excluding Brandon Rios? We're not doing that over here. We're not doing that. Excluding Brandon Rios? Has he showed any type of advancement? Has he? I just look at it like I want to see him go in there, give Thurman his second loss. You know what I'm saying? Really have Thurman in the post fight talking about, you know what? Hey, after what I just learned tonight from Terence Crawford, I never stepped in the ring with that boy. He called Errol Spence a boy on Showtime, right? I never stepped in the ring with that boy, but I can tell you like this. Terence Crawford, the best I ever fought to date. And you know, Terence Crawford got a lot on his, Errol Spence has a lot on his hands if they step in the ring. So, you know, I took my second loss. I ain't done. I'll be back. Go ahead, Thurman. Go ahead, get that post-retirement speech. You know what I'm saying? Don't let Bud go up here retire Thurman. Don't let that happen, dog. We might have to come out with a new moniker for Bud Crawford. You know what I'm saying? We might have to come up with a new motherfucking moniker. What's going on, Nunez? How you feeling? On deck with it? IB say, Andrew, salute. I prefer Thurman over Danny. For Bud as well, I rate Thurman over Danny by a small margin. I hear for Rashidi Ellis versus Barrios. That'd be a good fight. That'd be a good fight. I mean, Barrios only has 2 losses. He only has 2 losses. So he still got some, he has some skin in the game. You know what I'm saying? He still has some appraisal, some medium to high appraisal value to his name, even at welterweight. The reason why he has a welterweight because Thurman did not stop him. That's good. That's good for him. If he would have came off Gervonta Davis, stepped up to 147 and stopped again, it would have been crucial. We might not be singing the same song. 503 say your boy would turn Crawford into a victim for any situation. We want to see that. You know what I'm saying? Because you know how social media is, man. You know how social media can be like a pothole sometimes. You have so many people just driving over it. You know what I'm saying? No one really take a look to see what's in it. You know what I'm saying? You just hit a bump. And that might just be what Crawford does with Jermell Charlo. It might just be another bump in the road, you know, and keep it moving. I want to see that fight. I think, you know, as boxing fans and content creators on here, real talk, we talk about fighters stepping up, calling out the best, fight the best and all that. But the narrative cannot change or degrade itself when it comes to somebody that might be in your hometown or some popular name that you attach to the culture that you consider a cool fighter. We have to keep the same energy and give Bud his salute to say, you know what, he's calling out both Errol and Jermell Charlo. Jermell's at a higher weight class, so he's willing to step up to a higher weight class for Jermell Charlo. But we can't shut it down like, no. He need to humble himself. He need to be quiet, take less money, and be a challenger. Isn't that what a challenger is doing? I mean, if Jermell Charlo steps up and win the titles, isn't that indeed what Terence Crawford is doing? He's challenging Jermell Charlo. He's challenging him, bro. But like I said, I'm going to put these comments up there for replay. You know what I'm saying? I have to put them up there for reflection. Because hopefully, you know, some of this takes place in the next 2 years. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to take this video. I'm going to save it and shit. You know, in my archives, on my hard drive. And use it for later. When it comes time to do a post-fight reaction. I just want all the usual suspects to be in attendance. Once again, I want all the usual suspects to be in attendance. Bud coming out the gate with 2 big fights at PBC. I don't consider Thurman a big fight. If it's Thurman, I don't consider him a big fight in a sense that he's going to give Bud Crawford big trouble like that. It's a solid name for Crawford to step in the square with, but you know what we want. All of us. You know what we want. But right now, even the Spencer Holics, they have a little bit of doubt because I say Bud, I feel Bud come defeat this guy and that guy. But for the Spencer Holics, they'll say something like, if Bud get past Ugas. You know what I'm saying? I don't use that two word doubt. You know what I'm saying? That 2 word if. If separates, you know, it separates itself from certainty. You know what I'm saying? That means a lot. Like if you're uncertain, and a lot of people are uncertain that Errol Spence can go in here and defeat Ugas. You know what I'm saying? Don't forget he already had a fight with Danny Garcia. And I've been on record as saying Errol Spence looked in great shape. Being 2.5 weeks off or whatever from this fight. He looked in tremendous shape. You know, he looked well with the mitts. You know, he gave us a training session. That really wasn't an open workout. That was a training session, bro. They gave us a training session, and his cardio looked great. I've been on record as saying that I thought his open workout, so to speak, was better than Ugas. But I'm not taking anything away from Ugas because, on the other hand, I can give a plus to Ugas because I felt that his training session was much more professional than Errol Spence. Errol Spence was more so him coming to the gym to work out. You know what I'm saying? Like, he was going back in the office. He was leaving the camera, the frame of the camera, doing this, that, and the other. He decided to do his interviews first, and all that other stuff. I just felt Ugas had the more professional, but when it came to the performance and the open workout, I felt I gave that check in the box to Errol Spence. You know what I'm saying? But either way it go, Ugas, whether it's Ugas or Errol Spence, depending on if Terence Crawford fights Thurman next and he doesn't wait to fight the winner of this fight, one of them going to be lucky number ocho, whether it be Ugas or Spence. That I assure you. Rashidi versus Omar Figueroa, Jamal James, Robert Ghost Guerrero, Thomas Delorme. What do you, Thomas Delorme? Look, this is why we got issues now with Boots Ennis, because people are putting boots on they on they pound for pound. Look, people are putting boots on the damn pound for pound shit, at welterweight based off Thomas Delorme, his last opponent. Man, come on, dude. Come on, shawty. Come on, that's just hilarious, man. Come on, man. Fabian Madonna, Vito Melnicki, Abel Ramos, Jesse Vargas, solid fights. I don't know if Vito is ready yet. Vito not too long ago took that loss. I'm not sure if they're ready to put him in there with the likes of an Errol Spence, Yordenis Ugas, or Terence Crawford, to be honest. Definitely not Thomas Delorme. Boots has already been. Come on, shawty. Man, come on. Why am I even mentioning this dude's name, dog? I'm trying to find a damn where the eraser at on this StreamYard so I can just take that off my damn replay. Damn, you got Thomas Delorme on there? And that's all Boots Ennis has to do is defeat Thomas Delorme? He went in the Thomas Delorme fight ranked 5th, right? After he defeat him in November, they move him up 2 more slots. I'm like, how do you get credit? How do you increase your line of credit off Thomas Delorme, who came in there with 2 losses, dog? He's on a 2-fight losing streak. And then he gets stepped on by Boots Ennis. But shout out to Boots Ennis. That's the future. He's going to have a couple of fights, get his championship at 47 before he move up to 54. He ain't going to be at 47 long. Promise you that. I love Bud. His skills are undeniable, but I just got Spence for a couple of reasons. But I want to see the fight more than anything. IB, you've been over there in that community that talks Spence heavy. But I know you talk for yourself though. That I know. So I'm just bullshitting you on that. I know you when it comes to boxing, you thorough with your shit. You know what I'm saying? So that may be like who you rocking out with hard. You know what I'm saying? And it's hard for you to pull away from it. But only thing I can tell you, IB, don't go far. You know what I'm saying? If that fight, when it's announced and the promo starts coming up, I'll put some on it. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? I hope it's near Christmas too, man. Because like I said to all these people, I'm just gonna take the money and blow it. I'm gonna take y'all money and blow it. I'm gonna take Mitch's money. IB, if 503 want to bet on it, if Keon want to bet on it, I'm just gonna take it and blow it. Go buy me some shoes, buy me something. You know what I'm saying? Go to a restaurant and order extra appetizers just for fun. You know what I'm saying? Errol Spence juicing. We can't sit up here and make that accusation. You know what I'm saying? We can't make that accusation because there's no VADA testing. I'm not. Black belt Ben in the building. What's good? PBC already had best welterweight. I agree, Ben. They had the best welterweight in mind when they just signed Terence Bud Crawford. You're absolute, Ben. You're absolutely right. And look, Ben, the pound for pound list backs up my statement. It substantiates my statement without going into an entire investigative type, proving grounds here, doing deductive reasonings, coming up with formulas to prove my point. The best welterweight has just signed there, Ben. You didn't hear the news? People in the streets right now rejoicing on this shit. They have the best welterweight just signing. I know Al Heyman and everybody's happy. Team Spence may not be as happy. But they have the best welterweight in the building. Come on, man. Don't get no better than that. I hope it don't take 2 years to fulfill this contract. You getting that confused, Andrew? Why would it take 2 years to fulfill a 2-fight deal when Bud is calling out these fighters? Now, we all know that there can be procrastination or, idle, delays in fights for whatever reason. But I don't think that's going to be the case with Bud Crawford. Seriously, he has a big name, and there are fights. I'm pretty sure when they signed this deal or whatever, they made it perfectly clear on their intentions and goals that they're trying to meet. Outside of the monetary value, it's goals. You know what I'm saying? I hear people are owed money over there, allegedly. I hope Bud Crawford gets his money. I hope he's happy. I hope it's no, misunderstandings or anything. I hope he get his money. Not that deferred payment shit. I hope he's paid well, and I hope he gets his money. Because we all know Bud will take you to court. Didn't mention Danny Thurman. Butayev, I forgot his name. Stanthionis, Rashidi, because those fights won't happen. Consider Thurman a big fight for Crawford. I got Crawford whooping him though. I mean that's what we agree, of course. But that's easy. That's easy for me to agree that he defeats Thurman. You know what I'm saying? Also, Mitch, you and I can both agree that the same outcome will be presented to Errol Spence too, if he is to split the ropes with Bud Crawford. So don't hesitate to put your fingers on those damn home keys and type that shit in the live chat too. Grogan on deck, what's good? Salute OG. Any truth to AB versus Barrios? I don't know. I know AB's been training, and I just have to get back in contact with his coach. You know what I'm saying? Because up there they put very little out to the media. But believe me, I've been trying to find out what's going on with AB. Also, I definitely want to see myself. At Keymish, who you got out of Butiev, that's his name or whatever, versus Stanthionis? Stanthionis tough, man. You know what I'm saying? I got to go with Stanthionis. I know you asked Mitch, but I got to go with Stanthionis, man. Stanthionis tough, dude. I got Crawford round 7. He got Crawford stopping Thurman in round 7. Yeah, that's because Thurman, Crawford, he's a gentleman sometimes when he's in the boxing ring. He takes it easy on the level of his competition sometimes, just like he did Sean Porter. That was his friend. Bud wasn't trying to go in there and step all on Thurman's forehead. You know what I'm saying? He was trying to take it easy because that's his boy. He didn't really want to go in there and dog him. But when they told him he was behind, he said, fuck it. Let me show you what it is. I don't know. I'm going to just sit back and watch. Andrew said, I've been watching some Boots tapes. His best work is his counterpunching. He's got a nice shoulder roll, lots of God-given athleticism. I agree, man. Boots is a solid fighter, but yet I look at his competition. His competition hasn't leveled up, and people need to keep the same mentality of criticism that they gave some of the fighters that's been in the welterweight division before Boots even started hitting the rankings. I did a whole live on how Boots went up from 15, who he fought, and how he started to take the elevator up the rankings. Now, that has nothing to do with what the eye test is. Boots is the future as far as the welterweight division. He had mad talent. But let's be honest, the same criticism that we give other fighters for their resumes, man, I don't know what y'all infatuated about until this guy steps up and face opposition that's either equal or greater than Boots. Equal or greater. Who he has stepped in there with that's supposed to be equal or greater, his skill set and technical know-how. Sergey? Nah, we can't say that. We can't say Thomas Delorme. So we still waiting for that fight. You know, and then he's supposed to face Custio Clayton. Will we consider Custio Clayton equal? Let me know what you think in the chat. Do you consider him equal? Sometimes he loses his composure on the offense and wings some shots and get off balance. Listen, it's a lot of people that's high on Boots Ennis, man. But like I say, man, you have to be patient and you have to really sit back and observe him when he step up his competition. Seriously. Like, I'm going for the brother. I'm rooting for the brother. Real talk. He's a good dude. But I just don't see, why it's so obvious that you have the old guard that's being pushed out, right? You have Terence Crawford and Errol Spence that's being pushed out. They're the old guard. They're about to move up to 54, do what they do. You got Sean Porter retired, Danny Garcia, Keith Thurman, all those guys. Dennis Ugas even. Dennis Ugas is going to end up retiring, in the next several years. But what I see is a preparation to start supporting the next so-called star of that division. And that's Boots Ennis from people. It was Virgil Ortiz, but I still got mad respect for Virgil. You know what I'm saying? He faced some adversity and he said he wanted to, face tough competition. I respect the man for that. I respect him, what he did. Going down, getting up. A lot of people, they'll take a certain fighter. Let's just say that was Devin Haney, and he got dropped like Virgil Ortiz. They'll be like, "Oh no, he ain't shit." But Virgil Ortiz get dropped, and he gets back up and win. It's all gravy. It's all good news. But I'm just saying, we haven't seen Boots Ennis step in there yet. We're still waiting on that competition. That's all, man. But he would definitely be a world champion at welterweight. It's funny how all these chumps jump in the chat insinuate Spence is dirty, but never mention Ugas. They both fighting. Yeah, they both. I don't really get into the pad situation, just off making false accusations and, just trying to build up the controversy to the topic. I mean, I don't do that. I don't have no reason to get on that because now you're trying to say a fighter is cheating without actually knowing if he's cheating. And you're not even close enough to the situation to call up somebody from VADA and say, hey, I just want to know if it's drug testing for this, and this, and what you know so far. If it's no drug testing, then your accusations are baseless. You're sitting up here slandering someone's name before they even step in the ring, accusing them of potentially being drug cheats. We just seen the situation. Well, I'll take it back even further. We still talk about Canelo, and I don't know how people put some type of damn emancipation or statutory limitations on his computer raw, but he was suspended and it was retroactive back to what, February that year? And then he still fought Gennady on time. And then Jarrell, Big Baby Miller, his situation, plenty of people pop. Oscar Valdez, all that shit. Like I'm telling you, I'm not gonna go up here and say Errol Spence or Ugas Ugas just because they're not being tested. Automatically, they juicing. Nah, that's slander. That's defamation, in my opinion. We hear what's good with it. Big shouts out to Rashidi for breaking out the Golden Girl Dungeon. Man, I bet it was rough for him to get up out that joint too. I bet it was several stairwells. Stairwells that he was trying to climb up that motherfucker. There wasn't no windows down there. He had to find a way out. When he didn't hear them footsteps upstairs, he had to make a break for it. For real, dog. Mitt say, fuck no comeback. We don't agree. I got Spence beating Crawford, undisputed truth. To every truth, there's a lie. Remember that. I know off Hustle and Flow, he said, when he right, he wrong. Even when he wrong, he's still right. Hold on for a second. IB say at WCS, do you think Jose Benavidez was Bud's toughest fight at 147 realistically? I think every fight is different. And, you have to make adjustments, the right adjustments. And Benavidez, man, look, people have to understand, IB, Benavidez was a problem. Like, people look at Benavidez and act like, just because he got shot in the leg, man, he wasn't shit. Now, that's fucked up to think that way. Like, that dude was a problem. And just because he went in there and made it a fight with Crawford, isn't that what he's supposed to do? Because if he didn't give you that gamesmanship and that competitiveness, would you even mention him as potentially being a tough opponent for Terence Crawford? No, because I believe, thinks it was a tough opponent, right? And he did make the fight. Look, he went all the way to the 12th round. He went to the 12th round. It was a good fight. Do I think it was his tough opponent? It depends, because all his opponents at welterweight has been stopped. And then I will have to render and say, how far did they go? How many rounds did they put in? And then between the rounds that the fight started until the stoppage, what action took place in between there? I have to evaluate all that. But he's top two. He's top two. Of course, you have to put in the Olympian, Kavalauskas. You have to add him in there for while it lasted. You have to add him in there. Even though Benavidez went 12 into the 12th round, you have to look at how the fight played out. The exchanges, the punch output, just the strategy from both fighters. It was a tough fight. It was a good fight. I'm saying it was a good fight. That's all I can say on that. Bud did what he have to do. He made changes. I like when he make adjustments, and that's what it was, man. Salute to him. There's a generation gap between Boots and the other young welterweights I'm trying to keep up with. He's kind of got his own lane. Peep this out, though. The special part about Jaron Ennis, It's his age. Oh my God, dog. Jaron Ennis' age, man. Dude is only, you know what I'm saying? Only. These cats is walking around boxing with all these fights. You can't just look at it like, that don't mean it means something, bro. Because he's only like 23, right? Man, that's a youngin in the game, man. Look, 23 years old. So you have to assume that he's, 47. He gonna pick up a title definitely at 47. And then he can go up to 54. He has the frame for 54, 60, 68 definitely. What I see with him, he has the frame to go all the way up to 68, possibly 75. He does. They always talk about how big Jaron is. Hey, he has the potential to go from 47 to 75. He's a youngin in the game, man. He's only 23. Man, that's crazy. You know what I'm saying? That's crazy. And he has pretty decent power. That's crazy, bro. That's crazy. He has a bright future. Real talk. I don't consider Custio Clayton equal or better than Ennis, but he's a nice opponent at this point. It's just up to Ennis to continue to show up what he has. I totally agree on that. And that's why I asked, is Custio Clayton considered equal to better competition for Ennis to prove himself? I mean, that Thomas Delorme is not cutting it, bro. It's not cutting it. Nah, we can't do that. Smooth Groove Boxing in the building, man. Salute to you. Appreciate you pulling up to the spot. Salute, family. Salute to you. Andrew said, I like the Benavidez fight. I had Benavidez winning the first few rounds, but had to the chop at the tree at night to bring it down. Like I said, man, when it comes to Terence Crawford, I enjoy how I respect the fact that he makes changes. If a fight's not going his way, he makes changes and he gets the job done. Whether it's in the first half of the fight or the latter half of the fight, the way he makes changes are very effective to the results. The man is very, very skillful. And if you haven't seen the video, it's a video of him. He's in regular, recreational shoes. He has no weight belt on, and he deadlifted over 400 and some pounds. Once again, he had no weight belt on, no weight belt, and he was in regular shoes. He wasn't even in flats, because usually with deadlifting and squatting, the shoes are different. They have a flat sole. And he lifted that joint with ease, 400 plus pounds. That's why I try to tell people that he's stronger than these welterweights. It ain't no welterweight out there at this time stronger than Terence Crawford. You have to understand the man also knows how to wrestle. And he has some wheels on him. I would say Terence Crawford is the most athletic welterweight at that level right now. He's more athletic than Boots or Errol Spence. That's what I seen with my own eyes, bro. I seen that man run routes. I seen him, I done seen him several times do what he do, him and his people. Ain't nobody more athletic than Terence Crawford at welterweight. I agree. I got to pick your boxing brain with these questions, OG. No, it's all good, man. I know you know your shit and you're going to stick with who you rock with and support. It's all good. I mean, I ain't feeling no type of way about people going for Spence. It's all good, man. I want them to go for Spence, bro. Go for who you support. I wouldn't want it any other way. Charles on deck, what's good with it? Who is Crawford fighting next? Supposedly is going to be Keith Thurman. But most of it, what I see on social media is Danny Garcia. So we have to see. I don't want him to fight Danny Garcia because he just came off that beating from Errol Spence. So once again, my people, there's something in the live chat. I wouldn't want to see Terence Crawford go in there and stop Danny Garcia. To be the first, I'm telling you, it'll be a referee stoppage. If he don't get stretched out, the referee will stop the fight, bro. I don't want that. I don't want to see Danny Garcia go get stopped. Go stop another common opponent that Errol Spence been in there with. I don't want to see that shit. And I don't even want it to happen to Danny because, I like Danny as a fighter. You know what I'm saying? The man seems like he ain't struggling at all. He's done well with his money that he's made. Salute to the swag, like old school. If you're talking about anybody that got swag, that's DSG. Real talk. But I don't want to see Crawford go in there and step on him like that because they're going to try to say, oh, well, shit. Errol Spence did that to him. No, I want him to fight Thurman, get him out the way, and then wait for whenever we see the winner or whatever. We're about to find out in a couple of weeks. We don't know yet. Looks like PBC fighter, though. I'm waiting on the official. Like, let me check something right quick. I wanna check and see if the big dogs, the Tweety Birds, as I call them, I want to see what the Tweety Birds has put out there. Who they love dropping information to. Let me see. I'm trying to find out if there's anything on Twitter about this. Because I definitely, want to have the most current word, but most of what I see, let me see. I think a lot of people think, I just don't see it out there flowing like that. You know what I'm saying? All I'm saying is people talking about the same thing. Crawford is close to signing with PBC, and first fight being negotiated against Danny Garcia. Second about Errol Spence. I don't see a equal flow of consistency when it comes to Keith Thurman being the next fight. So we'll wait on that. That's the only thing we can do. We can wait on that shit. We can wait on that. But as you see my thumbnail, right? I have Ugas Ugas in the shadows because he is indeed that guy that can place a wrench in all of this. He can pretty much destroy any hope that we wanted to see between Spence and Crawford. Ugas Ugas, he can be that guy, man. Seriously, he can be that guy. He can be the one that upsets the apple cart and the a la carte and get this shit done. We really don't know. Me, I'm not sure. I'm not sure if Errol Spence is ready because just looking at just listen to his all access, right? I will listen to his all access, and no one can tell me, man. No one can tell me that he sounds the same. No one can convince me he sounds the same. And no, it's not hating. I'm just saying I'm listening to him speak. I hear the audible. I'm listening to the rhythm. I'm comparing his old videos to now, and he sounds different. Seriously. So you can't look at a person and say, okay, they speaking slow, but still they can punch fast. Yeah, in so many ways, but guess what? What happens when you start receiving that essential punishment that will affect you neurologically, that blends in with your internal damage that you currently have, pre-existing conditions. That's all I'm saying. I just think he's not back 100% yet. But don't let me start getting into this shit because I'm not a doctor. We don't know yet. Looks like PBC. Thurman is afraid to fight Crawford and Spence. We'll see though, because Thurman, he needs to get his name back out there. Plus, I'm pretty sure he's looking for a check too. Jay Ocho on deck. Ugas out here bugging. How's he bugging? How's he bugging? What's that link to? What's that link to, Mitch? I'm just curious because I'm not. I just want to have an idea what's the link to. But yeah, let me see. Oh, Ugas dancing. Okay, let me check it out right quick. Cause I don't know what's wrong with him dancing, man. What's wrong with him dancing, Shawty? What's wrong with that man dancing? Let that man boogie down. You know what I'm saying? Let him boogie. Man, why y'all worried about that man dancing, man? Let that man dance his night away. Let me copy this link right quick and see what you're talking about. Damn. I don't see anything. I'm gonna have to get back to this because that link is not coming up at all for me. I don't like talking about his medical, but he said something that stood out to me. He said he had 3 weeks memory gap after the crash. There you go, Andrew. I mean, we're not look. A lot of what I'm speaking about is enough that's been already out there for public record. I'm not sitting up here creating or I'm not bloviating any type of new information. This is just what I'm listening to him say. The man said he was on borrowed time. He also, just like Andrew just mentioned, he said he don't remember the accident and he doesn't remember 3 weeks after the accident, pretty much. And it took him a while to even look at the accident. So, Arrow is telling you about it. It's not going anywhere. People need to stop acting like it's a banishment. You know what I'm saying? It's a forbidden language now. No, it's public record. The footage is out there. I'm just saying we all know. If we was cool, if all of us is cool and we met up at least once a week, right? And we're used to everybody's behavior and mannerisms, and they got into a car accident of that magnitude and they recovered, and you used to chopping it up with them, talking about whatever we talking about, and they sound much different, you're gonna talk about it. You're gonna let people know, man, so and so don't sound the same. Damn, that accident must have did a number on them. It's gonna be conversation like that. You know it well as I do. That accident did a number on them. Man, that was a tough accident, bro. Man, that shit was tough as fuck, dog. Them dudes at PBC scrambling right now to get their affairs in order. If their affairs wasn't in order like that, so to speak, to the point where they just out of pocket, you know what I'm saying? I don't think Crawford would have signed with him. You know what I'm saying? I don't think so. Man, dancing is enlightenment. You feel me? Dancing is enlightenment. Let that man have fun, man. I have to find the video once I'm done though. Danny Garcia might as well manage his sisters. He is. He is. He put a lot of money into their career, their singing career. Yes, he did. Yes, indeed. Yeah. He got something if he play his cards right. Yeah. Nice looking singers. There's his sister twins, I believe. They're twins. So yeah, he's invested in a career, man. That's his pride and joy right there. I mean, Crawford versus Thurman has been out here though. That ain't breaking news, dog. Just because somebody say breaking news, it ain't breaking. You know what I'm saying? It's only breaking if you ain't if you ain't reading and surfing and doing whatever. It ain't breaking news, dog. Look, if you look on here, it's probably like 8 to 10 people already that have put breaking news out there. You know what I'm saying? It ain't breaking. I'm just waiting for it to be announced. That's all. You know what I'm saying? You know how we got Carrot Media on YouTube? Shit be broke on YouTube and then it end up changing. Crawford will stop everyone except Boots. Crawford is my favorite fighter, but Boots is a problem for anyone. I disagree, Charles. You know, if he's your favorite fighter, support him as your favorite fighter against anybody that may be a challenger there, Charles. Look, I understand you're an adult. I'm not telling you how to think as a man. But what I'm saying is, if Crawford, that's just like me saying Crawford's my favorite fighter, but I don't have enough confidence that he can beat Boots. Why is the mindset like that? Like if y'all really rocking with Bud, have confidence that who y'all put him in the ring with, he'll go in there and beat. Boots Ennis is unproven up to that point with the level competition. Come on, man. We still waiting for him to get a championship fight. We still waiting for him to perform against competition. Boots, even though the eye test says a lot, he does have areas of his, repertoire that can be exploited by the right fighter. You know what I'm saying? So we'll see who gives him a shot. Danny and Ugas both came across as guys who are truly happy with life at the moment. Listen, Andrew, you know well as I do. Dennis Ugas, man, was locked up 6 times for escaping, dog. 6 times. 6 times this man was trying to escape. This man was on the water coming over here and finally made it, dog. Just like Luis Ortiz. Just like all them other Cuban fighters that's done defected and came over here, bro. 6 times, man. That man finally came over here to the land of the free and he's living a life. You think he ain't happy? Sometimes them Cuban fighters bring an extra level of courageousness that, that may be a bit higher than the ones who's actually born in America. Because they had to go through so much to get over here to earn this lifestyle. They stay hungry longer. They may stay hungry longer. You never know, bro. But that man was caught numerous of times, man. They can sing a little bit and look good. What if it come out? Boots got a Amir Khan type chin. Ooh, I don't know. I don't see that yet. I haven't seen it at all. And then for anybody on here, Jay Ocho, to put Boots Ennis in the same conversation as Amir Khan when it comes to chin, you could have picked any other level of skill set, but you chose the chin and chin. Chin is absolutely disrespectful. That is disrespectful, dog. You could have said, oh, Boots got the same hand speed as Amir Khan. Boots this, that. But you put him in the same talking point as that chin. You're talking about wet confetti, damn melted styrofoam, honey, because it's sweet chin music now. We all know honey's sweet. We got to put some honey in that motherfucker. Some toilet paper. We got to put all those soft materials. You know what I'm saying? When we talk about Amir Khan chin, dog. I'm serious. But you cannot be disrespectful to put Boots Ennis' name in conversation with comparing him to an Amir Khan, and you're talking about the chin. Disrespectful, dog. W says, don't play. The mind says this, but my heart is telling me. Hey, your heart is telling you. What in the Sam Hill? Oh, you're talking about Errol. Okay. Yeah, man. Jay Ocho, man, put Boots Ennis of all. Look, Boots Ennis obviously haven't showed any signs of degradation to that magnitude of Amir Khan. For all the topics we've heard on here, man, people been talking about, his overall skill set as a fighter, You know what I'm saying? How competitive he is when you compare him to the top names at welterweight. The eye test, hand speed. Then you hear Jay Ocho. What if he has the chin of Amir Khan? Oh my God. I hope you didn't jinx the man. For real. Look, I hope if that's the elephant in the room, I hope he's malnutrition. Because that's not the elephant you want to be in the room. I hope he's malnutrition for real. Because we don't want that to be. Because there's so many people that's pushing for him, including myself. I'm pushing for Boots Ennis to excel at welterweight. You don't want him to have a chin that's comparable to Mir Khan. Hell no. If Boots had a Khan chin, Lipinets would have slept him. How do we know that, Mitch? How? I mean, when he fought Danny Garcia dropped him in the seventh. I believe it's the seventh. I mean, he didn't drop Danny Garcia once. I mean, how do we even know that Lipinets would have slept him? What do we rank Lipinets punching power? I don't know. Hell no. And we can't put Van Heerden in there because he wanted to go in there and be a Sean Porter 2.0 with a headbutt. Seriously. Charles said it seems like Crawford was just playing with Porter. Nobody ever done that to Porter. Crawford is stronger than people give him credit for. I truly agree with that statement. I've been telling people for a while, from what I've seen in person, that Crawford is stronger than a lot of these welterweights. And that's going to be a huge problem for Errol Spence. A huge problem. This is going to be a huge problem for Errol Spence, man. Just the strength alone, being that Crawford is a wrestler. His son wrestled. He knows how to wrestle. And he's a strong dude. That's going to be a problem, especially fighting on the inside. Especially fighting on the inside, dog. Seriously, especially fighting on the inside. That's going to be a problem. There's a surprisingly decent amount of Boots video out there to watch. Yeah, man. Boots, I'm not sure how big of a star he's going to be, but man, Boots is going to be special in his own way. He has that selling power. He's young. He just need to put himself in that position with the right opponents. That's all I'm saying. He has that. He has the look to go with boxing. He has the technique and boxing repertoire thus far. You know what I'm saying? The eye test. He just needs to start building up his resume. He needs to start building up his fan base when it comes to boxing. And, keep on climbing to be a superstar. That's all we can say for Boots. People love saying his moniker all the time. Boots, Boots, Boots. You know what I'm saying? They don't say it so much. He got 3 O's in the middle. If Bud fights Thurman, all Thurman has to do is last all 12 rounds for a win. If that's how your thought process is, I mean, listen, he's whether he goes, to the distance or he gets stopped, it's still a win for Bud. You know what I'm saying? If he goes the distance with Keith Thurman, so be it. We're talking about a former unified welterweight world champion. You know what I'm saying? Manny Pacquiao sat him down. He got back up. Thurman has been hurt with body shots before. We'll see. I'm not up here wishing that man anything. If he goes the distance, cool. I'm just trying to say we're looking for the W. We're looking for the W. We're looking for the green side. That's all. If he goes a different, we keep it moving. But thus far, everyone that Bud Crawford stepped in the ring with at welterweight hasn't made it to the final bell. Everybody, to include Sean Porter. They haven't made it to the final bell. So y'all should take that in consideration. That's all I'm saying. Real talk, all respect. Y'all should take that in consideration. They're not gonna rob Bud. They're not gonna do that. Nah, not at all. They're not gonna rob him. How they gonna rob him? If Errol Spence, let's just say Errol Spence was that much a commodity, right? To PBC. I don't think if the plans was all surrounding, Errol Spence, he had all this prestige with PBC like that they didn't want to sign Crawford. Crawford wouldn't have signed. I mean, shit. It wouldn't have worked. He wouldn't have signed, man. You think he's gonna sign with PBC and Crawford's gonna get the fights with Errol Spence and not go in there and give it his all to stop him? And stranger things has happened in boxing now. We know people get robbed all the time. I just don't see Bud Crawford being in that situation right now because I see him potentially stopping Errol Spence. For real, for real. For real, for real, for real. I think Crawford for that fight right there, he's gonna turn up. It's gonna be quite different than his other fights, and he's not gonna take his time. And he may potentially go in there and stop Errol Spence. Seriously, we seen what happened to Sean Porter. Errol Spence couldn't stop Sean Porter. But Terence Crawford dropped that man and had him beating the canvas with his glove like he had just pooped in his diaper. And he's scared he was going to get a spanking. Man, he was throwing a tantrum in front of his pops. Pops, Daddy, please, Daddy, don't take me to the car and spank me. No, you know what I'm saying? It was that type of tantrum. Because he was like, shit, Terence Crawford ain't no motherfucking joke. Lipid yet ain't bringing no power. No, hell no. People had Sean ahead. Look, they can say Sean was ahead all they want, but all you got to do is look at the official scorecards. That has been absolutely debunked. Okay? Sean Porter wasn't ahead, bro. Thurman lasting 12 rounds is a hell of a test alone. Exactly. But it's not gonna blemish any type of if I was Bud Crawford fighting Thurman, I would go 12 rounds. You know why I would go 12 rounds? To have people believing that all of a sudden he's beatable. Because right now there's a lot of people that's apprehensive about Errol Spence stepping in there with Crawford. Just off the strength of what he's done since he's been the welterweight. He stopped Kell Brook in 4. And we all know Errol Spence didn't do that. He stopped Sean Porter in 10. Errol Spence didn't stop him at all. He knocked him down in 11. That was it. I'm telling you. I believe Terence Crawford can stop Errol Spence, man. That's going to be a different type of motivation he's training. And it's going to be a whole nother amplification when it comes to training for that fight. Man, they're going to go in there and give you the same energy, but higher that Errol Spence had with Sean Porter. It's not, man, it's going to be it's going to be electric, man. It's going to be electric if the fight ever happens. And once again, I keep on prognosticating as if Errol Spence is going to win. He has a very tough fight against Ugas. So once again, I'll just let that shit play out. I can't confirm or deny anything, though. I think Lipinets has some pop. He retired Lamont Peterson, small welterweight, though. Come on, Mitch, come on now. Come on now. He retired Lamont Peterson. Stop it. I would be on record as saying, goddamn Spence retired Lamont Peterson. Come on, dog. Come on now, Mitch. I can say goddamn Errol Spence retired Lamont Peterson. From recent interviews, something seemed wrong with Spence's eyes and mouth. I do, man. I'm not going to keep on hyping on it, because that is a very distinct medical issue and it's a personal issue. And all you have to do is watch All Access. All you have to do is watch his interview with Brian Custard. That's all. He's a different dude. Things, and look, situations happen. You know what I'm saying? He still has a family. If you look at All Access, man, he was changing his daughter's diaper, y'all. You know what I'm saying? For me, you know what I'm saying? I was like, damn, that's daddy duties. That's family shit. You know what I'm saying? You changing your little baby's diaper. So that's something he's gonna have to deal with. His people around him, his pops, everybody, they're gonna have to deal with the fact of knowing that, yeah, he's not the same dude. They know that. It's good he has those animals because, in my opinion, having animals around you are therapy. So that's a good thing. Having all them goats out there and big ass horses. Keith stated he would basically throw one or two punches and basically run. Errol doesn't want to fight Bud. A Keith Thurman win is his only way out. Well, you talking about Terence Crawford. Terence is stepping on Keith Thurman. Period. Period. He's getting him out the way. I don't even have to keep on mentioning that. I think Lipinet's power is his best attribute. Lipinet's power, and Lipinets is a tough fighter, of course. He's tough, but he kind of reminds me, when he really gets in that mood, just to become a robot and walk you down. He become like Baranchik. They're just trying to walk you down all the time and bully you and shit, and they're getting punished, and they keep on walking you down just to prove that you ain't hurting them, but really you are. You know what I'm saying? So he's a tough dude. Real talk. He's a tough dude. But sometimes he can get redundant with the same game plan. You have to switch it up. You have to have B, C type of plans in your repertoire, not just like, oh yeah, I was going forward, so let me stop, let me move around a little bit more, and still don't know what to do. Or let me box off the back foot and try to switch it up and still be losing. I mean, come on, man. He needs more than that. He needs more than that for sure. I don't know if y'all seen and I'm going to touch on this briefly. I don't know if y'all seen, Savannah Marshall, Carissa Shield was over there. She just earned a 3rd round knockout, right? So Carissa was trying to go in the ring and they was trying to keep her out the ring on some bullshit. And I'll say typical, being over there in somebody else's backyard. She said, oh, so she can come in the ring. I mean, she can talk to me post fight, but y'all don't want me talking to her. So this is where I look at it with that situation. People have to understand that judging off the amateurs, transitioning over to the professional, Clarissa has left Savannah Marshall at the station. She left her at the station. I mean, it's freaking elevations above Savannah Marshall when you're talking about Carissa Shield's credentials. Levitating levels above Savannah Marshall. Now, it's gotten to a point where it seems like her team, they felt like it'll be a good time to kind of attach themselves to Carissa Shields. Somewhat like Kristen Hammer did, you know. They want to say now it's time for you to build up and challenge Carissa Shields because you're the only one to beat her and this, that, and the other. And I hear people talking about Savannah Marshall's power, right? How many boxers do you know stepped in the ring and they had a higher knockout ratio and they went in there with a person that can box, that has better defense? So basically that power was negated because if they weren't able to hit the target. Now, I'm not saying Carissa is unhittable, but let's get it straight. Savannah Marshall is no Hannah Gabriel. Let's get that perfectly clear. And that uppercut she caught Clarissa with, it was smooth, slick, accurate, on time. But Savannah Marshall is no Hannah Gabriel. She's going to have to come in there, not with only her power, but her IQ. She's going to have to delegate that period of instructions to the point where Carissa is going to have to respect her. And right now, when it comes to Carissa, man, I don't care. Like, Her attitude may not be the best. That don't mean shit when I'm talking about. But when it comes to boxing, when it comes to her defense, you know what I'm saying? When it comes to her hand speed, yeah, she may have only 2 knockouts. But if you can't hit your target to land those power shots, then what's gonna happen? Because let's not act like she didn't get up from that knockdown and go on to win that fight. Let's not act like it was a super close fight now. She was knocked down. Her mouthpiece came out. Okay, if you want details, her mouthpiece came out to the right. That shit was on the canvas too. She got up and she continued to box on, and it wasn't even close. Shout out to both of them ladies for putting on a damn good fight. What do you think Savannah Marshall's gonna do? Carissa ain't no small chick, dog. What did you see her? Did you see the recent interview? She's gonna be fighting in middleweight. Carissa's no small chick, man. And Savannah's gonna have to have a very sustainable ring IQ to go in there and fuck with Carissa. We done seen it. Look, y'all need to stop acting like y'all haven't seen fighters like Savannah Marshall who's hell bent on going in there and knocking out somebody. And let's just say she don't get the shit done in the first 2 rounds. What's next? Do you have the cardio to go into deep waters and not drown? Can you swim without getting wet on a fighter that's damn defensively sound, offensively damn sound too? Does Savannah Marshall have that shit in her? Just because you go here and knock out a fighter in the 3rd round doesn't mean you're gonna knock out Clarissa. Now, I will play devil's advocate just a bit and say Carissa's going to be the biggest name that she ever fought. And furthermore, she's going to have to go in there and keep her foot on the gas if she's trying to make a statement at this point in her career. Of course, Carissa would be a big win for Savannah Marshall. But man, I don't see it, bro. I don't see all that power and shit. And people saying she has power. Do she have the cardio? Does she have the bags? Do she have the damn gas tank to keep up? Loading up on those shots. Does she have the right game plan to go in there and beat Carissa Shields? That's the biggest question of the day. Real talk, that's the biggest question. I think Lippy against power is his best attribute. Done down on deck. What it do, Donna? Groat's mouthpiece did jump out her grill when Hannah sat her on her trunks, got up and finished the fight like a champ. Yeah. Yeah, man. I remember like my flashbacks, man. I remember details like that too. You know what I'm saying? Like how Charlo knocked out Lubin. I remember the hand that he parried those shots with and then land the uppercut. I mean, Charlo and J Rock. You know what I'm saying? It was beautiful. That shit was beautiful. Marshall's power punches ain't landing on the GOAT. I'm telling you, man, why look, why are black fans acting like they don't understand that black fighters have always had this like title to them, like it's hit, it's hit and not get hit. You hit your opponent and you not get hit. Hit and not get hit. Well, all of a sudden it don't matter for Carissa though. Who else has did her like Hannah did her? And then like Miss just said, she got up and fought like a champ, bro. She was sat down. It was new territory for her. She was embarrassed. She got up and she fought and finished that fight like a champ, man. So unless Savannah Marshall is that chick that's on a whole nother level of punching power, she's gonna have to sustain that onslaught. She's gonna have to keep on pressuring. She's gonna have to be able to land the shots. Make it dirty. I don't know, man. We've seen plenty of fighters that's supposed to be these brutes these brawlers, and they get their ass beat. We've seen that several times, man. We don't have to go to the movie theaters to see this shit. We've seen this shit several times. Now, if Carissa Shield had Ann Wolf power, then we have a whole nother conversation on hand. Because Vonda Ward, at one point in time there, Mitch, felt that she can defeat Ann Wolf too. She was like 8 feet 18 inches and shit. And she had red, white, and blue on, like she was a damn former Globetrotter. And I was like, damn, I remember looking at that fight too. I was like, God damn, she big. And Wolf set her up real nice and landed the overhand right. Timber. Vonda Ward was slept, flatline, done, over. If Carissa had Ann Wolf power, then we talking about a whole nother story. If Savannah Marshall possessed Ann Wolf power, then it's a whole nother conversation. It's a whole nother conversation. Because check this out. People can sit up here and say Franchise Cruz Dezern was a pretty good power puncher. You know what I'm saying? She went up there and took what she had. I'm just saying, y'all. I'm just saying, bro. Marsha does have solid power, though. I just see Grote outclassing her. John David Jackson won't allow Grote to fall into a slug match. That's very solid what you just said, and also being that Carissa doesn't have the power, she has the speed. She has the power. I mean, she doesn't have the power, but she has the speed. And she has the defense. She's very slick. She's used to getting in there with dudes. You can just tell it the way that she's, performing. But like you said, I agree. John Davis is gonna come in there with a A1 game plan, and it's definitely not gonna be to sit on the outside. I mean, on the inside and brawl. But sometimes Clarissa do that shit. Sometimes she get on the inside and brawl, man. Sometimes that's what it is. Everybody has a plan, and you already know the rest. I just think Marsha is going to land eventually. I disagree, daughter. Look, no, I'll take that back. I agree. It's boxing. It's not like Carissa has been in there with every fighter and she hasn't landed anything. I mean, like her opponent hasn't landed anything on her. She's been hit, of course. We just finished talking about Hannah Gabriel. She's been hit. Jimenez even hit her. Franchise landed some shots on her. But at the end of the day, does she have enough to change the scope or change the speed of the fight? Does she have enough in her hands to disrupt the rhythm of the fight? That's the biggest question. Does she? Marsha always looked good versus soccer moms. Hey, man, we're going to see. Carissa isn't a soccer mom. I can tell you that. She just comes off as big. She has power with the right, but I don't know, man. We'll see. Like I said before, man, we can talk about the amateurs all day long. People talking about they'll go back and say, well, so-and-so drop or beat so-and-so in the amateurs. But yet you see them differently in the professional ranks, though. Castano talks about dropping Errol Spence, but don't nobody mention that shit. But they'll talk about Crawford being dropped supposedly by Kavalauskas. You know what I'm saying? The shit doesn't add up the same, dog. The shit doesn't add up the same when it comes to people reflecting on certain things. It don't add up when they start talking about, who was dropped. I mean, there's plenty of fighters that fought in the AMs and went over to professional ranks and they still undefeated, haven't been on the canvas at all. And then we have that weird dynamic where, Sean Porter, how he was able to perform against Oleksandr Usyk, but Usyk goes on the unified cruiserweight, and now he's a unified champion in heavyweight, while Sean Porter is still, a active member at welterweight. It's crazy. I mean, it's stories for days in the amateurs. But we can't sit up here and say, well, so-and-so was dropped this time like it matters. Like so and so was dropped back then, or Carissa was dropped back in 2018. That shit don't matter right now, because she's still undefeated and she's a three-weight champion. And what, two divisions unified? That shit don't matter, man. Savannah's gonna have to go ahead and shock the world and make it pop. That's all. Only reason I don't mind the amateur talk is because Shields always mentioned her two gold medals. I hear you, Dada. I hear, like, I look at it like this too. If we're gonna go there, everybody tends to always bring up Lomachenko's two gold medals. That's all I'm saying. And I feel that, Carissa's done much more than Lomachenko with the fights that she have right now. I'm just saying, if you a two gold standard, a double gold standard winner, yeah, it's cool to talk about that. But when you talk about the fights, that's different than your credential. You know what I'm saying? We can talk about Luke Campbell, but his Olympic is quite different than his performances, that we've been watching. It's plenty of Olympians that's in professional ranks that we sit up here and boaster about. You know what I'm saying? We brag about. It's a separation from the amateurs to the professionals. I don't mind somebody talking about their damn medals, but when they talk about what they did to a certain fighter in the amateurs, that's where it becomes a bit more distorted for me, because the competition is different. That's why they call it professional. You start to get paid for your work, and the competition is much more better. Different grading system. You know what I'm saying? Different competition, all that shit. So Carissa's talking is no different than them bringing up Lomachenko all the time on his two gold medals. Rigondeaux, all these other people that's won gold medals. They don't talk about Shakur Stevenson, even though he has big things popping, man. He won a silver medal, but goddamn it, don't nobody talk about that shit. Gro has shown too much for some power to defeat her. Skills, IQ, heart, speed, toughness, defense. Talk that shit, man. I'm digesting the same, man. That temperature right there is what I'm looking at too. Skills, IQ, heart, speed, toughness, defense. All in a package that Savannah Marsh is gonna have to deal with. I'm not saying Savannah is gonna go in there and lay down, or she's overhyped. No, she just has to get the competition. Now her and Carissa is gonna fight, and the women's boxing need a fight like this. I just hope that it's not a snooze fest, because y'all have to remember they were saying the same thing about Hammer, how she has all this power and this, that, and the other, and who was hurt. Go back and watch the fight. Who was hurt now? Who was hurt? I'm just saying, you're talking about a fighter with 2 knockouts now. Who was hurt? That's all I'm saying. 2 good medals is an amazing achievement. Getting a win over someone in the amateur ranks is an accomplishment. Well, it is once that person elevates themselves to a different hierarchy on the professional ranks, it becomes a topic of conversation. It does. And that is what we're seeing play out with Shields and Marshall. Shields is absolutely levitated to a whole nother stratosphere. And the only person to ever beat her, period, is Savannah Marshall, which is pretty much trying to surf in on that energy. Now, whether she rides into the shore all nice and smooth, or she crash into that motherfucker, one way or the other, she's going to have to come to reality. She's going to have to face reality when it comes to her and Carissa Shields. She's going to have to understand that things have changed. Either, for one, Marshall's changed since the amateurs, Carissa's changed, and we're going to see them clash in the ring. That's all we can think. That's the only assessment or scenario I can give you. I'm not gonna go up here and wish bad on Savannah Marshall. You know, her competition hasn't been all that. I mean, you're looking at the women's side of the building now. It's different, but these two women's gonna have to go in there and compete. They have to go in there and compete. Period. But man, appreciate y'all for pulling up. Real talk. Y'all enjoy y'all Sunday evening. Appreciate all the input. Thank y'all. Y'all continue to support the channel. Sub to the channel if you haven't already did it. You know, until next time, man, y'all turn up and tune in to World Combat Sports. I'm out.